What kind of sorcery is this? Look at it go! Hi guys, Matthew here and welcome back again to my channel. Kidding aside, no, this is not a ball mouse from 1998 turned onto its side. This is how it's actually supposed to be. Although yes, you can pull this big marble-like ball and clean it like we used to do it with those mice. And whilst you will find small bearings that make it turn, they are not here to make the cursor move. For that we have an optical sensor that reads the surface of the ball, which is probably the reason why it looks like this, so it can pick it up more easily. Fun fact, these type of trackball mice were actually quite popular back then too. Right off the bat, since I always get this question, yes, this mouse as it is supports both Mac and Windows platforms, being it over the wireless USB dongle or Bluetooth. It also comes in black, or as Logitech calls it, graphite, and white color, and the support for these aforementioned platforms is not color bound as some of their other newer mice are known to be. And no, the M575 is not the successor of the MX Ergo, but rather the 10-year-old M570 model. Putting that aside, why would someone use this type of mouse at all? First and foremost, it's aimed towards users who have repetitive strain injuries or they want to prevent it, and of course for anyone who has a problem using a regular mouse. It's also used by users who have a tight workspace, particularly in video and audio productions, and some just find it more practical, and I can see why is that with my use of it in Premiere Pro. It can be really fast and precise when you need it, I would say even delicate when it comes to really small increments. The only problem is of course that you don't get to control it with the movement of your arm, so you cannot stop on a dime when moving fast with an accurate notion of where will that end up, which is crucial in gaming, basically an action-reaction type of thing. And that is pretty much it about its performance in general, nothing really to go too in-depth with. As I mentioned, this one uses Logitech's advanced optical tracking sensor, and that's an improvement from the M570, which used a laser-based sensor. This new one ranges from 400 to 2000 dpi, and I found it to be plenty enough for day-to-day operations, no matter what the task is. Of course, you're not going to play any FPS with it, but nothing prevents you from trying it. It will for sure be a fun couple of minutes, followed up with, okay, I'm done with this. The design is pretty standard for this type of mouse. The whole top part is tilted to the right, so it makes a more natural slope for the hand to grab onto. With this being the case, it's obvious that this mouse is right-hand use only. It suits my medium to large size hand pretty okay. I feel like it's more aimed toward users with larger hands. It's a really long mouse after all, but it looks to be more streamlined this time. When it comes to build quality, well, it feels kinda plasticky to the touch. It's definitely not premium, like for example the Master Series, but then again, this is a $50 mouse. Although it's nice to hear that the graphite version uses 50% and white version 21% of recycled material in their construction, which also probably slightly affects the perceived build quality. Oh yeah, and the packaging looks to be one of those recycled ones too. As for the connection options, as I said at the beginning, you can either use the unifying 2.4 GHz wireless USB dongle receiver or the Bluetooth connection, and yes, if you have two different devices you can switch between them with a press of a button below the mouse, but there's no option of multiple different profiles like on their MX Master Series. The battery life is rated at 24 months with the connection over the USB dongle, or 20 months if using the Bluetooth connection, but it actually depends on the battery you use, because this one doesn't have an integrated battery, but rather a single regular AA battery, which comes with the mouse under this plastic cover. Here you can storage the USB dongle too, so you can for example put something like a high capacity rechargeable Analog Pro AA battery and get even more out of it. This longer battery life is also one of the main differences compared to the older model, although truth to be told, at this point it doesn't matter that much. With anything above 6 months of battery life, it's not like it's going to really make a difference for your day-to-day use. As for the weight of the mouse, well, that doesn't matter that much in its case, does it? Since you're not going to move the mouse around, and it's actually preferable that it's heavier so it stays planted. And sitting around 150 grams should be good enough, especially since they've put few rubber feet that bring the friction up by quite a bit. Moving back to the top, the left mouse click seems to have a bit more empty travel before actually activating the trigger, while the right click is more direct. I wish they made the surface of the right mouse click a bit more wider, because I feel like I could use 3 fingers, 1 finger for each mouse click plus the middle one for the scroll wheel, so in that case I wouldn't have to move fingers around, but like this the right finger overhangs the right click too much. The scroll wheel is completely rubberized, something they tend to do on their office-oriented mice models, with pretty distinct steps, while there's no left and right scroll option, but we do have a very firm middle click. Lastly, we have 2 additional buttons right next to the left mouse click. They feel natural being placed there, it's really easy to reach for them, although Logitech this time completely flattened them out, while before the forward one was sort of like 3D shaped, so it was easy to fill it out, but here you can also do that by filling the break line between each of them. And of course, here is how all of this sounds. Yeah, the left and right clicks are really loud, while those 2 added buttons are soft, as well as the middle click and scrolling action. Last but not the least, the software control in Logitech's options utility software is pretty modest with this one. You can remap the buttons of course and change the pointer speed, as well as set button profiles for different applications, check the battery level, which is still not stated in percentage. Come on Logitech already. So all of the usual things with some features cut down, as this is not your regular mouse that you throw around the mousepad. So all in all, you will receive some slight improvements with the new M577, nothing too extravagant, which, well, I can gladly welcome considering the same price tag. That's it for this time for me. Thank you once again for watching. Please take a second to toss me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my content, that really helps a lot. And if you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe, and if you already are, be sure to press that notification bell down below so you don't miss out on a new video. And until then, catch you later guys.